Hello, welcome to Paint by Blunders. Today we are looking at the Flesh Eater Court's Morbheg Knights, which are the Bat Cavalry, and I have done them in a scheme which reminds me of one of my favourite films growing up. Hopefully you'll recognise this clip. Let's get to it. Pale Sand from Vallejo, and I'm just going to cover the entire model. I'm going to use an airbrush, but you can just use a brush. As I say, we're covering the entire thing, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. Next up, we're coming in with Tuscaur Fur, and all I'm doing is spraying the feet and like the underside of the Morbheg. Morbheg? Giant bat. Obviously, if you're not using an airbrush, you can do this two ways. You could just do this with like quite a heavy dry brush, which would give a similar effect, or the way I would do it is just knock up a thin glaze out of the Tuscaur and then just, work it into the pores, etc. like that, and just build it up if you like. But have no fear if you overdo it and you don't like how strong the colour is, like I have deliberately done on the front paw of this guy. You can just come back in with an airbrush or the heavy dry brush of the Pale Sand and just blitz over the top of it, and you can just blend it back away again. Now that's all done, we are going to start working on the wings. We're going to use Zandri Dust and Flesh Terror's Red. The reason I've gone for Zandri Dust is because the model's going to be quite light. I want the bonework to be quite dark just to give a bit more of a contrast so you just don't lose it. And Flesh Terror's Red because it's just so easy to put on. And we are back to my original model that I was painting before the memory card went. As you can see, I started with the Flesh Terror's Red, mainly because the Zandri Dust has pretty good coverage, so undoubtedly there'll be bits of the red that I hit on the bonework, and I just find Zandri Dust covers it quite well. But obviously, you could be more accurate than me. Do it whichever way you feel best for you. So next up, we are going to tackle the claws, and I'm going to use black from Vallejo. And the reason why I normally block all my stuff through before adding any washes, etc., is because when I'm putting these base colours down, this is normally when I mess up. This is when I will hit something that I'm not meant to hit. And if I did all the skin, this nice creamy white skin, and then I did the claws, I know in myself I would then hit that skin with a big blob of black. So I block everything in to start with, mainly for safety. Metallics, there's not really many on these models, but obviously the rider does, so without telling you how to suck eggs, obviously use the same one that you intend to use on your ghoul. I'm just using a dark gunmetal from Vallejo. And I've got a load of gubbins on the bases that I'll paint in as I go. So I'm going to start painting in the base ever so slightly, again, just because, for safety, I don't want to get the skin done and then be having to get in between all these feet and legs with a darker colour and hit the skin. So to actually start on the skin now, I'm using Contrast Skeleton Horde, and I'm going 60-40 in favour of medium. You can go more in the favour of medium if you like. It's always better in my opinion, because you can always add a second coat if it's not as strong or as vibrant as you like. And I've just got a fairly big brush that I'm just working it into all the skin, just watching how it pulls, just pulling the contrast where I want it to. And I'm going over the pink sections as well, just to try and tie it in with the creamy skin colour. And I'm not worried if it hits any of the bone areas that I've already painted in with the Zandri Dust. It's not really going to change the tone that much. So on to the actual bone areas. We're going to use Garagax Sewer, and I'm going to water this down about 50-50, and I'm just applying it all over the Zandri Dust areas. Again, because I want all the bone work to be nice and dark on this, just so you can see it against the skin and just have that really nice high contrast from the wings to the skin. One other thing I do is I come back in once it's dry and I just do the tips of the wings in another coat, and I think I did 2 or 3 coats of this just to try and darken them up so it looks like it almost goes to black. And by all means you can just add a little bit of straight black or black Legion and just really darken that up if you wish. So we're going to make the skin pop a little bit more now with Carabao Crimson and the Glaze and Wash from Pro Acrylic, the medium. You could just use contrast medium for this, but I quite like this Pro Acrylic one. And I'm really heavily diluting this, probably 70-30, if not closer to 80-20. I just want it to be a nice, subtle glaze. And if you see, it really helps, like in the ear, it just picks it out nicely, and it's just pooling in the recesses exactly where I want it to. And you can use it underneath just to give a bit more definition on the lower part of the neck, and also the feet areas, the rib cage, and also if he's got any like wounds or sores, you can just put a little blob of this on it to give the illusion that the patch of skin around it is also sore. And with that all done, we're going to start actually bringing the skin back up. And it's a pretty simple process. I'm not one for making this too complicated. I'm going to literally just dry brush the base colour that we put on at the very start. But some areas I might just come in with a traditional edge highlight, like around the face, or if there's any muscles that I want to just pick out a bit more. And I'm using a fairly small dry brush for this. And as always, it's with dry brushing, it's just finding that angle that you want to just drag the brush across with hardly any paint on it, and just pick out those raised edges. And if you wanted to boost these highlights even more, you could literally just keep adding a little bit more white in every time and just slowly bring it up that way, but only picking out more and more of the highest edges as you go lighter. So next up, we're going to start bringing back up the bone areas, and all I'm going to do for this is use the base colour, which is Zandri Dust, and just do a few edge highlights and just pick out a few of the highest points on the bones that are like piercing the skin, etc., and the helmet. Now, I did make a mistake here, which is where I completely layered in a traditional way the mask or the helmet, and I didn't like it. And instead of just glazing it back to a tone that I like, I decided to change it completely. And that's why the skull in the end of this video looks slightly different. And I'll show you the footage anyway. I basically just do Rakarth flesh and put a brown wash over it to try and make it look a bit darker. That was the wrong thing to do, but I ran with it because I was struggling to get this video done in time, essentially. But yes, I would still do the bone in the traditional way that I did the rest of it, just so it ties in more. But yeah, just wanted to be honest with you about the mess up. And well, the channel is called Paint by Blunders, and that was a blunder. We live and we learn. So next up, we're just going to edge highlight and pick out some of the sinews of the red areas of the wings. And all I'm going in with is just a lighter red. I'm using, I think it's called Bright Pyral Red from Pro Acrylic, but you could just use Evil Sun Scarlet if you wanted. That's probably the closest GW one. And this step can get quite fiddly. I switched to a smaller brush for this one, just to really get in there. Now, just a really quick edge highlight on all the claws with Administratum Grey. I'm just putting a small amount on the wet palette, just loosening it slightly with a bit of water, and just taking the edge of my brush and just sweeping it down the front of those claws, just to give it a little edge. Now, I'm not going to do too much on the teeth. I'm just going to use pure white from Pro Acrylic and just put a coat over the teeth, because I want to use all of the washes and tones and that I got from doing the glazing and doing the flesh tone. So I don't want to overthink it. I just want to brighten them up. So that's pretty much him now. I did one final wash over the top of the skull just to make it darker brown. And I'm just going to start basing him now. Normally, I never do the basing thing because everyone's different, but I tend to always get a comment, or on Instagram I get DMs about my basing. So I'm going to quickly just say how I did this one. So I smothered AK's Concrete Terrain. It's too light and I've got to wash it down, but essentially there wasn't any of the darker one in stock. To wash it down, I used a black oil wash, solely because it's super fast, it seeps into all the recesses, and is very handy because the way oil travels, if you've ever used an oil wash, the way it travels, it likes to find all the nooks and crannies and it sticks to the edges. Very good when you need to get wash between toes, because I don't know about you, but so many times I've gone to dab paint in between toes and I end up caking the side of their toe. So all I'm using is a little bit of the Winsor & Newton black and a tiny bit of white spirit to knock it into a wash, and I'll just slap it all over the base, and I'll probably do 2 coats of this because I want it nice and dark and gnarly. After that, I'm just going to dry brush it with Dawnstone and Grey Seer with a mix of stippling and dry brushing. And I just use some dirty cream and brown tones to dry brush over the skulls. I don't want them to be too pronounced. I want them to look like they've just been buried and neglected and just got all gammy. So on to our little rider friend. This is going to be the same as what I did for the Crypt Guard video essentially. I start by doing Screamer Pink from underneath, and then from the top I do Fenrisian Grey. If you don't like the pink underneath, just paint the entire guy in Fenrisian Grey. So once the skin tone's done, we're going to start moving on to all of these fleshy bits that are all over all of the models. And I do the same thing for all of them. I either use Bugman's Glow or Cadian Flesh Tone, and I just use them interchangeably depending on what one I feel like for each bit of man flesh that's hanging off them. And I really like the sculpts for these. GW have done a phenomenal job of giving them so much character. Having rings on the hands that are still, you know, that have been decapitated and are worn around someone's belt sort of thing, or there's ears on some of these faces that are just stretched across shields and helmets. Fantastic. Very much reminds me of like Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of thing. One thing I do wish though is that I didn't stick the shields on, because they can be quite fiddly getting around the back of them, because there's loads of flesh that goes round the back, and there's also lots of bolts where it looks like they've nailed the flesh down. It would just make it a lot easier to get to. So moving on to metallics, I use the dark gunmetal from Vallejo, which I did for the hooks etc. on the bats. I'll use this for all the armour and the weapons, and I've got Rune Lord Brass, which is just the colour I used on the Piper's horn, but you can also use it if you want to accent any particular pieces of armour. For all the bone sections, we're going to use a Rackar Flesh, just being careful as always, just to try and not hit what we've already done. So for the hair on the ghoul and like any belts, etc. straps, I'm going to use Cygor Brown, the contrast paint, and I'm going to use this as it comes out the pot. And I really like Cygor Brown because it's sort of a warmer brown, and I think it contrasts really well against the Fenrisian Grey skin. So we're getting to that stage now where we just need to pick out all of the little details before we can get washes on this guy. So I'm going to use just a magenta to do like the tongues and the gums, just the pro acrylic one I believe, and like the hair on the head I'm just going to use like a darker cream tone to try and give it like a blondie haircut, because it's just giving me like 80s hair metal James Hetfield vibes, that haircut, so I'm going to go with that as my inspiration. Now with all my base colours done, I am going to use Streak and Grime and cover the entire model, but I'm not going to use neat Streak and Grime out the pot like I do from some of my other things. I am going to water this down in the palette so it's not as strong. You could just use a brown or darker oil paint and knock up your own, but the only reason I say Streak and Grime is it's got quite a few other applications, and more likely people might own this one as opposed to some regular oil paints. But I appreciate some people might not want to use oil paints, so as I said in my Crypt video, there is these guys where I don't use any oil paints. Most of the time it's Agrax Earthshade for anything other than the flesh. And for the flesh I used a watered down version of Nighthaunt Gloom. So when the grimy oil wash is dry, or pretty much dry, doesn't have to be completely dry for this, all we're going to do is put a little bit of white spirit on one of these little makeup sponges, and we're just going to start wicking it away, just dragging it across, and it just exposes that colour that it was originally. Now, I often get asked if you should varnish before doing this. When I'm using these little makeup sponges, I've never had a problem with it pulling off the paint. If I used a cotton bud, every time I've used a cotton bud, it pulls off the paint. Then I would varnish it. But these little makeup sponges, I think you get 50 for about £4 on Amazon. Now all that's done, I think he looks great. You could easily just leave him here. That's one of the beauties of using a grime or an oil wash. It is very good at giving you all that depth without having to highlight. But all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and just edge highlight in the original base colours. Bugman's Glow, Cadian Flesh Tone and Fenrisian Grey. And just to give it a few edges and make it pop. Now you can go as crazy as you like with edge highlighting. It's one of those things you can really get lost in. I tend to just do enough of the interesting bits that I think will help make the model stand out a little bit more. So as I say, I'm using Bugman's Glow and Cadian Flesh Tone for the start of this. Just that Fenrisian Grey just to highlight some of the boniest bits of the skin that are really where he's really thin and gangly. Again, you can highlight this further by just adding a touch of white into the mix, or use something like Ultham Grey if you wanted to make an extra highlight. A little bit of Rakarth Flesh for anything that I did in bone. And then I want to add a little bit of rust to the weapon, so I'm going to put this on neat at the bottom, and then I'm just going to drag it up with a little bit of water and see how that dries. And yeah, it looks like it's got a bit of rust. I'm happy with that. So now I just put the rider on the mount just to see if there's anything that stands out. And the brown fur, I'm just going to use a little bit of Mournfang Brown just to give that a little bit more pop. And I'm also going to use Black Legion to do the toenails and the claws of our ghoul. And I'm just using the side of the brush just to clip the very edges of the fur with the brown. I'm not going crazy with these highlights, it's just to add just a little something. And with the claws done, I think we are finished. And this is how they look. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you learned anything, please do consider giving this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I try to get these videos out as frequent as possible. But I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they're going to look really popping on the tabletop. The reason why I've done one of the green ones is because my ghoul army consists of blue and green ghouls. Mainly so I can tell units apart, but I just wanted to show you if anyone did green ghouls, what it would look like on this mount. Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.